So you're in Naxxramas, objectively the hardest raid in Classic. And you want to get through, kill some bosses, get some loot, and not die, hopefully.
I'll show you how you can clear Naxx easily, make it 15 out of 15, even if you're a casual guild. We will talk about every key point from the thrash to the all bosses to preparation. We will try to make every aspect.
If you're entering Naxxramas for the first time, or if you haven't been there in a while, and you just want a refresher,
we will go in much detail, so it will be not a quick guide, but we will try to cover it all in one video. So hopefully you will make it to the end.
Now we can jump to the first boss, and I can show you first a bed pool where you could wipe or you can run away and survive, and I will show you that too, as well as a good pool on how to kill this boss correctly. The first boss we are going to kill is the boss in the war quarter, Instructor Razuvious. In this part and just before this one, the mobs are not very hard. You just phase them away from the raid with each tank. They don't deal that much damage, but if they are facing your melee group or your raid, they will deal a lot, so that's pretty much it. But there is also slimes in the middle that can spawn in these rooms, so watch out for them. They're not too dangerous, but they can be annoying to deal with if you pull a bunch of golems, and then you have slimes too.
Okay, let's start with the bed pool and how you can save it, because there's like a way that you can run away and don't lose any member of your team.
General idea on this boss is you have a few priests that mind control the students of this guy, and they need to use a taunt and a shield wall on the students so that they can tank him for a good amount of time. He hits very hard, around 20,000 K damage per hit, so if you're a melee and if you pull his threat, he's going to one-shot you.
Yeah.
Maybe as a tank you can survive with a shield wall, yeah, but it's just a maybe. As a healer, you will mainly be topping up the tanks and maybe healing the mobs, so if they're in case they get low, so that they can tank him for longer, and of course dodging the shout that he does. This shout is extremely dangerous for mana users. It deals a double amount of damage in your current mana. Before the mind control of the priest expires, it's important that another priest takes over and taunts him. In this way, you can ensure that he's always taunted. Now, of course, this boss wouldn't be hard if there wasn't a caveat. Your priest mind control can resist, and the priest can lose the mob they're mind controlling. And then the boss becomes uncontrollable. He starts going everywhere. And for this, you actually have something you can do. You can have a mage start ignite on this boss and then go away on the staircase. And then other mages can keep the ignite, and the ignite threat will be on the mage that started it. So you can see here, our priests are mind controlling the mobs. They pulled the boss, Instructor, and he gets off because you see the mob resisted the mind control, and we are running for our lives. So you drop some dummies to make sure the boss doesn't kill any melees. The boss is running, and he's going to do a shout, and I need to do a leap, or I'm going to die right now. So this leap, you can see a lot of healers took damage because they were in the range. They had a lot of mana. This is the safe spot here. On this spot, the boss will de-aggro. So you go here to the wall. If you go further and walk around on the top, you might actually get Z-axis clipped by the boss. Basically, if the boss runs under, he will be able to hit you through the Z-axis. So that's an interesting mechanic in the game.
But
so
you all did this very clean, like you doing this like every day for the from the build.
Pretty much, we've got a lot of experience doing this and running away. Sometimes it's a petri out if the boss is, if the mage even loses the ignite or something else goes wrong. But typically, a bad pool looks like this. Everybody's logging out right now to save some cooldowns and to get the cooldowns back and save the buffs.
Now let's see how it should be done.
Now we are going to get this boss finally with a good pull. Now we've dropped some dummies, we had a bad pull, and the mob resisted the mind control, but it's a low chance. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Something you can do as a priest is get more hit chance.
There is always a 1% chance of missing the spell in Classic, so you cannot be like 100% safe.
Yes, so you can see here, As a healer, you just spam heal the mob that's tanking the boss, and the boss is hitting the mob. And you just need to watch out for the shout. Everything's going good this time. You can see the other mob is taking over.
Yeah, now
the
it
boss.
looks easy.
It's an easy boss as a healer. You just heal up the mob. You heal some tanks sometimes. They don't take that much damage from the trainees, from the students.
As a range, that is also like pretty easy, just standing in the one spot and spamming your one button.
Yeah, you need to be wary of your mana with the shout, so you need to line of sight him.
Obviously.
You can see everybody's running to the left, all the casters. Some mages are not, because they are getting greedy. They don't have much mana. They're like, yeah, that's not dangerous. So that's also an option. If you don't have that much mana, you don't have to hide. But you can see you just rotate the mobs, and eventually this boss dies, and you get your loot.
Yeah. Anything special for the melee, or just don't stand in the fire and hit from behind?
Well, no fire here. As a melee, you just have to be wary of if the boss gets loose, you need to drop a dummy so that he doesn't clap you instead. Because this boss can hit melees on the way to the mage that is igniting on top. He has this weird mechanic that happens sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time, but yeah, it's like when you frost nova a mob as a mage, then he hits somebody's closer to them. So it's a mechanic like that. But
Is there will be any dangerous trash on the way to the second boss?
yeah, quite some. So we're going in here in this room with weapons. So we can take a look at what to look at. So here now, there are a few staffs and axes and swords. They're flying weapons. They can do different things, but generally, if you just keep them away, they can cast spells, as you can see. And if you just pull little by little and just keep them far apart, I think it's the axes that are cleaving in the area. But you can see the staffs too. They can do it as arcane explosion. So as long as you pull the weapons apart and you kill them one by one, it should be quite safe. But of course, if you pull the entire room, get ready for a wipe, because that's not going to be easy. As a healer, you just spam healing on your melees, and they will be fine.
Yeah. So here, just the catch: don't pull entire room and beware of the cliff and explosion. Another key point before we jumping into the second boss.
There is a shade that you want to stun. It does a lot of AoE damage. You can see right now the melee's taking it. These other mobs are not very dangerous with it, but the shade itself is better if you stun it. Then the horses, they're not dangerous. This is shit mobs. And then these mobs up ahead, they can rotate. There are more mobs like this in the quarter, and when they rotate, they deal a lot of damage. So you need to back off as a melee. As a healer, you try to do your best to keep your melees alive, but if some idiot stands in a mob that rotates, like you will see the moon will start rotating now, and everybody is going away as they should. So they are safe. But if you just stand there, and you can actually die quite easily. They deal a lot of damage. Coming into the second boss of Naxxramas, Gothik the Harvester. Basically, there is the life side and the undead side. Depending on which side you're on, you will be either fighting the mobs that are spawned by the boss, or you will be fighting the mobs that are spawned after they're killed. So on the live side, the mobs are spawning, and then they're being killed by half of your team. And then on this side, where I am right now, this is the undead side. These mobs, when they die on the live side, they will come here now from one of these piles. You just don't have much to do, and the mobs will start spawning slowly, little by little. First some trainees, then riders and DeathKnights. In this order, they're as dangerous. The riders can charge, the DeathKnights deal some damage, the trainees don't do much, and they spawn on the undead side after they're killed. So as long as you should shackle with your priests some of the DeathKnights, and otherwise it's not very difficult, so you can just kill off the mobs. This stage 2 is timed. You can see on the right there is a timer 3 minutes 40 seconds. At this point, so you just need to fight the mobs for this amount of time to get to stage 2. Yeah, it's not too dangerous, but don't sleep, because if too many mobs spawn, you need to have the tanks pick them up so they don't run to healers.
I would say that the event in Scholomance is much harder than this fight. So
Yeah,
there's
definitely,
nothing.
actually.
There you don't have time to dance around in the middle of the room. And here just pay attention, shackle the knights. And I would add that thrash that we cleared before that can rotate is much more dangerous also than this.
Yeah, then this boss, sure. You can see even one melee can handle some of the mobs. You don't need this big old group. The life side is a bit more interesting because you have to do something with the mobs. Some of them you tank, some of them you shackle. On this side, you just kill everything that spawns.
But generally,
basically.
the other side is not very much more exciting.
Yes, fast forward into the boss. After you kill enough mobs on both sides, the boss will start spawning. He will first spawn on the life side, and then after some time, he will jump to the dead side, where you can finish him off. And the dead side, during this time, you just have to wait impatiently for the boss to teleport. When the boss teleports, the gates will also open, so the life side can join and finish the boss with you. And the stage 2 starting, and everybody nukes the boss. The boss himself doesn't do too much. You just nuke him.
Can something go wrong? How you can like fail this fight? Let's imagine station.
Well,
like you're completely new.
If you just cannot kill the mobs, or you kill too many mobs on one side and your other side is too weak, and they can't kill them, they can actually kill a few people on the other side.
And on stage 2 also you cannot like fail anything.
On stage 2, I don't think you can fail this boss on
Okay.
stage 2.
So we survived 2 bosses. Is there anything interesting on the way to the third boss?
Well, there are a few mobs. Starting with the Shade again, we've seen it before. You would stun it and then it doesn't do much, but otherwise it does some AoE. These ghouls, they don't do too much. You just have to have a tanking them. They can be quite nasty with the damage, but as long as you are pre-healing on the healers, it's good. So the next boss is Horsemen. We're clearing some trash and there is a patrol going. I'm not sure if you're going to kill it, but you can wait it out if you don't want to kill it. You will see it a bit later. So these guys, they do some AoE Shadow Bolt volleys, and if you nuke them fast enough, there shouldn't be a problem. Then going down, there will actually be some gargoyles. So these gargoyles, they apply stacks on your raid.
Okay.
You shouldn't pull too many of them, and you shouldn't pull other mobs with them. You focus one gargoyle and then the other one, because they all apply the stacks. And you need to kill them fast because they cast the Stone Skin skill that makes them recover the HP or more resilient. After the fight with gargoyles, you always want to sit and eat some food so that the healers don't have to heal up, because this buff retains and you can't dispel it. So here's the second pack of gargoyles. Just make sure don't pull them with the first pack, otherwise you probably have to use some cooldowns to kill the gargoyles fast. Because these stacks, they don't do that much, but when you apply a lot of these stacks, it can deal quite a lot of damage. Your healers will struggle and your raid will slowly die. Now these are the same mobs we've seen before. They do some AoE Shadow Bolts, but as you could see, they didn't affect other people. It's because they only target the people that are in combat with them. So that's a way to pull them, and then do not go in combat until they finish the cast, and then you can go. And finishing off with some more ghouls, another Shade, Spirit of Naxxramas, and a few more mobs.
So nothing new here, we just repeat.
Nothing new here, so let's fast forward to the Horsemen. Going into the third boss in this fight, the Horsemen, this is probably among the hardest bosses in the raid, because there are quite specific mechanics you need to follow. So each of the 4 Horsemen, they have an aura around them, quite a large aura range, and it applies stacks that are not dispellable, and every other stack deals more and more damage. So the more stacks of a specific Horseman you take, the more damage you will receive from that Horseman. So for that purpose, each horseman is tanked in a separate corner by a tank, and each tank has a designated healer, or a few healers preferably. And then the first two bosses, the first two horsemen you kill, it's Kel'Thuzad and let's see which one I pull here. It's the Kel'Thuzad and Mograine. So these two we kill first. Starting with Kel'Thuzad, he does quite a nasty ability. He has he does the big fireball, a meteor, and it hits a melee or a range group, basically anybody who's within range. So this time he melee group, and if you're not stacked, that's going to deal quite a lot of damage. It's a similar ability to the Anki-Rash. So you can see I'm getting marks in the right top corner. I have 2 marks now. We have to kill this boss very fast so that we can reduce the amount of damage we take. If you cannot kill him fast, you should rotate your tank, and probably you should have more tanks and then less DPS. But we pop some cooldowns, and you can see we are doing good. We managed to kill this boss.
Is there any sweet spot with the marks? Like how?
Yeah, there is a spot here in the middle. You can see me running strangely like through this middle, not directly to Mograine, because there is a safe spot right under the stairs. So you can stay there and you will not receive marks from any of the bosses. So here,
and what is the maximum amount of marks that you can handle?
Yeah, so you're going to feel a lot of pain on the 5th mark, and on the 6th mark you're going to die unless you pop a shield wall as a tank. These marks deal shadow damage, so if you pop a greater shadow protection potion, you can take a bit more damage than you think. But yeah, you can see 3 marks. Still, I'm good, but you will see the 4th mark. Maybe if I don't kill him on time, might get one. Well, I was out of range, it looks like, so I was lucky I didn't get the 4th mark. Oh, no, there it is. You can see it deals quite a lot of damage. So 5th and 6th mark, that's going to be devastating. So now you have only 2 horsemen to deal with, and you should rotate your tanks and rotate your healers, and you rotate your DPS, of course, so they don't get too many marks. You can see some people are having 5 marks. These are running away. The healer got 4 marks.
And you have all these marks, you just chill. You stand in the safe spot and do nothing. So for you, fight is over. You can manage your add-ons, like do whatever.
Yeah, in this spot, I'm just waiting for my raid leader to tell me we need replacement because some healer maybe accidentally took an extra mark when they shouldn't, or then I'm waiting for the skull. But mainly I'm following my tank. So my tank is with the skull. I'm just healing people coming in here, and I'm waiting for my tank to be replaced with another tank maybe. But because he is the main tank, he's on backup. So there are other people who are on rotation. There are basically 2 tanks rotating on each horseman. And every other tank that is free right now is on backup. You can see the triangle tank, he has taken a huge amount of damage. So he is going to be retreating and replaced with another tank. Even in this phase you can screw up, because if these horsemen, they move from the spot, they run to the middle, then the people in the middle take marks, and let's say if you ran away with 4 marks, it takes some time for the marks to drop off. But if the boss moves and runs like to the middle, you'll get an extra mark, so you'll have 5 marks, and the timeout resets. So then basically you would not be able to replace anybody. You can see people taking a crazy amount of damage even at this stage, so there is a huge risk of dying.
Yeah, and you're just chilling in the middle.
Yeah, I am being on backup.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to help. I think I was called here on Zelek because one of the healers you saw
starting to doing something.
So Zelek is quite dangerous. He does a chain on Khotun. So Khotun does chain, and the more players it chains, the more damage it does. So it's quite dangerous. So if there was another character in between tank and me, then I could actually get chained and killed here. But our druid comes in and he goes through the side to make sure that the chain doesn't hit him. So Zelik will chain the tank that's tanking him currently. You can see the tank is trying to disengage him. So I know the tank took over.
And now why is the guys are going offline? To save again?
Yeah, so these actually I think it's just they want to save the buffs. They see the boss is already dead, and they have gotten marks, and they are not going to be going to Zelek. The thing is, the Blomé boss on the left, you can go with melee there, but on Zelek, as you heard, there is a chain, so only ranged are allowed to kill him. That's why all the melees are like, yeah, I'm not having this anymore, I'm going off.
It's
because
like
I want to save my buffs.
Peak min maxing, you like saving 1 minute tops.
Yeah. So it's not much. You can see it's not very exciting when Zelik is left because only ranged can go kill him, and then you have to still rotate the tank.
Stop messing with the colors. What do you want to achieve?
Now we just wait for our ranged DPS to kill Zelik. But again, even right now, you could screw up. You put Zelik in the middle, ranged get another stack, you will have a big mess. He will die even slower. Maybe some healers can't go and rotate.
So you can grief like this.
Yeah, you can. You shouldn't, but
you shouldn't.
I guess you technically can as a tank or as a melee DPS who can taunt the boss, I suppose. So you should watch out for it. So I think at this point some healers went low on mana, so I'm coming to heal another tank. My tank was Skull originally, now I'm following a triangle. I'm trying to keep him up, and now we should be killing the boss soon. But like basically, on this fight, your tanks is your lifeline. You need to make sure that your tanks are able to tank, that the tanks are being replaced, and if you do everything correctly, you will manage this boss, just like we did.
It's a pretty long fight, if you were comparing. Okay, so is like what are our next challenge? Any thrash?
Next challenge is pray for good loot, because the chest takes some time to open. So let's see if we got anything. Nothing good, to be honest. So let's fast forward to the next boss, or the next area where we're going to clear trash before Patchwerk. So these are the same mobs. We have some that we fought before. These big butchers and retcher, I think they're called, violet retcher. So these ones are not too dangerous. Again, they do some AoE, they throw people away. So phase them away from the raid and you'll be fine. There is only one of them. But these slimes, they actually slap. So you shouldn't be near them. These slimes you should kill with a ranged DPS. And basically you can see we take no damage, no risk. If you are going to them in melee, they can actually kill you.
So this is exactly like a Maraudon, so just do
similar, yes, quite similar to that.
And they also can one-shot you if you will keep them fighting in melee.
Yes, if you pull threat, but to reduce the risk, you just don't want to have melee fight in them. The next part, we will go over a green river. It looks kind of scary, but it actually is not that scary. You see people jumping over, but what this liquid does is it reduces your max HP, and it deals slight ticking damage. So here you want to make sure to bring everybody here, replace all your totems, because there will be more slimes potentially spawning in that room. So you don't want the slimes to come back and kill you here. So these bile retchers the same, phase them away and you'll be fine. And the mobs here actually are not that hard. It's just you need to not pull the Patchwerk boss. You pull the golems little by little and phase them away from the raid, and you heal. These mobs aren't that hard, but you need to be careful with this room where you position yourself. So you will see we pull that back. And now we will go to another side of the river. And the thing is, after you go over, you will see we will lose a lot of HP because of this debuff. So when you walk over, your HP reduces to 2,000 or like less. It's basically, you get 1% of your HP only, and then it recovers to max. And after this, you need to sort of eat, drink, recover the HP. So we will be doing that in this corner. In this corner, we are safe, but if you go much further, you can pull that pack, and guess what happens? You wipe, because you have no HP, and these mobs will kill you. But apart from that, these mobs are not too dangerous. You just want to have people nuke, start shooting and nuke the mobs, and the same with the rest. Just be sure not to pull too many mobs, and this will be fine. And we can fast forward to Patchwerk boss.
If you're wondering like how you can optimize as a paladin or shaman, you can check our guides on the channel. So maybe you will be accepted to the Naxx also, and you already will be knowing what you're doing, so you can tell Red Leader, look, I'm the beast.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. No, the guys actually are really good.
Check them out.
So we cleared entire the trash, and this is our boss, the biggest butcher in the universe.
This boss on Patchwerk, there are a few things to look out for. As a melee, you want to drop your HP as low as you can, because the boss chooses his hit in a specific target, and then 2 other targets that are near him with the highest HP. He chooses who to hit based on their current HP. So that is why you want to make sure that you have a few tanks ready to tank him, and you want to have an extra tank. And this extra tank is going to be a backup to make sure if some tank goes low, that he doesn't clip some of the melees. You can see melees are waiting, they don't want to get clapped by Patchwerk with a pulling threat. The melees, they have to get low so they don't get clapped by Patchwerk, because he chooses the highest targets, and they can do it by walking into this green liquid, lowering their max HP and then coming back, and now they're quite low, so they can fight the boss safely. Be sure as a healer to not heal them. If you accidentally heal them, they will have to walk into the green liquid again to reduce their HP.
Yeah, don't grief your friends. That's not cool.
It can be quite dangerous as a melee here. You need to watch out for your HP, and you need to not pull threat. And the healers need to spam tanks, because the damage on this boss is quite crazy. You can see we're non-stop spamming. You might even need to pop a wisdom flask just to heal enough as a healer. It depends on how long the fight is. So basically it's all about the damage of your team. The more damage you have, the faster the fight is, the safer it is. Make sure that the tanks are always topped up. As a melee, if you feel like you're receiving too much healing from something, or you may be misclicked, walk into the green liquid again, and you will be fine. It's right next to you. So from there, it's quite straightforward. Only there is going to be enrage at 5% HP of Patchwerk, and as a tank, you should probably pop a shield wall, just to make sure that you can survive that phase. And if you do everything correctly, and your tanks stay in the correct order in the thread, and they get healed, then you kill this boss quite easily.
I like the guy with the biggest sword in every video.
Yeah, there is one.
This is the best sword ever, in my opinion.
Now he's enraged, and you have to make sure that he doesn't clap anybody. And if you do everything correctly, you get the...
Oh, not bad, the cloak.
Yeah, we've got some healer cloak. That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Now, this part...
Oh, this is the best part. Is this, by the way, what do you think? Is it true that you have to lower your graphic settings, or this is in the past? You just...
No, there is nothing like that. You just have to run around the slimes, and if you feel like you have disconnects or your game is lagging, just ask a warlock to summon you. Because honestly, these things will kill you and anybody running next to you. We are quite accustomed with this part, so I'm just running through the slimes.
Warlock will laugh at you if you will ask him.
Well, if you have lags and if you're playing on hardcore, better ask Warlock. Nobody's going to laugh, to be honest. We had a few people. You see, we're summoning. We're summoning right now, so it's a real danger.
Yeah. So it's time to check. So a champion of chain heal spamming.
Yeah, on this boss, you get more healing if you're healing not an extra tank. If you're left healing the backup tank that doesn't receive much damage, well then you're not healing a lot. But if you're healing the main tank, then your healing is quite good on this boss, which is absolutely not an indicator if you're doing good as a healer.
Yeah,
so looking at healing parses on this boss is the dumbest idea you can.
There is also two videos when you analyze different healing parses, so you can check it out also. It's quite useful.
Now these spewers, these mobs can be dangerous. They actually kick you up in the air. So we are standing here in the spot under an arch. So when you're kicked in the air, you will not fly to the entire way to the ceiling. You will just hit the arch and you land safely on the bottom. They don't always hit everybody, but they hit everyone around, regardless of which way they're facing. So you can see here now we're also going under the arch and everybody's standing here. Apart from that, these mobs are not very dangerous. So you just tank them normally. You don't have to turn them away either.
So it's the same idea like in low levels, 5 plants, just back to the wall and that's all.
Yeah, if you see Grobbulus coming down, you have to wait him out. You can't kill these three. Because you can pull the boss accidentally and you don't want to be fighting the boss and the mobs at the same time.
Yeah.
Fast forward into Grobbulus. We've killed the thrash and he's going to come down. This boss is not too difficult, but he can be quite dangerous. Many guilds can wipe on him because of his few mechanics. First, from time to time, he does an AoE in front of him in a cone. And if this AoE hits more than one player, it's actually going to spawn some slimes. It's going to deal damage and spawn slimes that can be quite dangerous. You need to kill them immediately if that happens. Ideally, what you need to do is you need to have your tank face him away from the raid so that he doesn't hit everybody with this ability. And you need to make sure your DPS are not pulling thread. Because
like we just seen.
Yeah, so another thing that he has is he puts these green clouds on the floor. And this happens when he applies a disease on one of the people in the raid. Then they need to walk into like a clean area and leave the disease there. Because if you just dispel onto your raid, then everybody's going to start taking damage, especially in the melee group. People will get damage and they might start running around and getting hit by the AoE, and then they spawn slimes and you wipe. So you have a lot of room to put these green clouds. So make sure that when you got a disease, that you have this person running away from the raid and putting them. You can optimize by arranging them in a nice pattern to make sure you have room if this fight taking a while. But you see people here, they put this slime everywhere. I'm taking damage walking in it, and it wasn't nice because it was right behind us already.
Yeah.
So make sure to put it nicely, and then your team will not have to walk through this cloud and receive damage. Nothing good on this, just a two-hander.
Any like other ways that you can fail this mechanics, or just pay attention to the slime? That's all.
Well, yeah, if you spawn a lot of slimes, they can easily overwhelm you.
So this is the only
if you have everything going on at the same time, like the disease and the slimes and the boss, and you can just walk into something and just die.
Oh, this is a cool part. Okay, so this time there is no thrash. All you just to do is just walk the tube, and the next boss will be waiting for you. That's all, which is nice. I think it's, if we keep comparing this to the low-level dungeons, sort of like BFD, but without jumping.
Well, in this tube, you can actually fall. Not only that, you take a little bit of damage. So on the left, you see there is a gap. So if you walk on the left, you can actually fall off out of the tube.
Okay, so it's exactly like BFD, you can say.
Yeah, you can see on the left there is a gap. It's made so you can fall, and you take some damage. But the next boss is Gluth. This boss has a few interesting mechanics. So first, he does fear around him. So you need to be sure your tank is ready to counter that with an ability that he has, or maybe you put a totem to remove it from him. You can see now the totems are going out. And there are some zombies that are spawning behind. There is no point killing them, they just respawn. So what you do is you have a few mages that take them and just spam some arcane explosions and just lead them around the room so they don't go towards healers who are generating aggro. Now we have another of these fears, and another thing to look out on Gluth is he gets enraged, and the hunter with the book that you get from Molten Core, he needs to dispel him. So you need to have a couple of hunters ready to dispel him when he gets frenzied, like right now. You can see he's grown bigger, and now he's smaller. So that's the frenzy on him was dispelled.
The tranquil shot. So be sure, but this point you must be already have it.
Yeah, hopefully you have it from Molten Core. But you can see zombies are coming to hit me, so the mages are generating the threat, but not too much threat. So yeah, on this boss we didn't get any good loot, only trash. This offhand that doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
Just some MP5 maybe for dungeons. Yeah,
okay.
so here in this area actually there is a path going through.
You are going towards like a big door, like in the movie.
Yeah,
and
so
it's
this is one of the exciting bosses is Thaddius next.
Yeah.
But you need to watch out for patrol that goes through this room. Wait for the patrol and pass. You don't have to kill them.
Yeah, don't get too distracted by this cool-looking door. And don't outrun.
Thaddius, Thaddius is quite interesting. He has two phases. First, you're going to be fighting his two minions, and these two are going to throw the current tank from left to right side. So you will see our tanks will engage Stalag and the other guy, don't remember what he's called. Important thing about them is they drain mana around them. So as a healer, you really want to stick like to the wall or be as far as you can from them. Otherwise, all your mana is going to be gone. So you see there's a magnetic pull, the ability, and I don't need to see the boss as a healer. I just need to look at the frame. So
but you don't want to. You don't have to be face first to the wall. You can turn around.
Oh well, I'm gonna turn around. So looks like now. But you can see. So now it's the boss is switched, and I think maybe they will have another one. And it's a magnetic pull.
I like that you're clicking the rune. It's really cool.
Yeah. So they are switching the tanks again. And the tank is getting thrown to this side. And after this, there is a very important mechanic. When you kill these two, you need to kill them at the same time, approximately. Otherwise, they heal up. But this is important mechanic is to jump. Don't screw this up. If you jump into the green water, you're probably dead. You should petri and log out. But if you manage the jump, then you're ready to face Thaddius. Now, this boss is no joke. You need to be very quick to react on this boss. Maybe not as fast as in Counter-Strike, but quite fast still. So this boss will cast this polarity shift, and you will get a debuff. I'm going to pause the video here. So you get either a plus or a minus. Now, it's very important that all the pluses stay together and all minuses stay together. Because if you don't, then this debuff makes it so that you deal damage to the opposite polarity. So if you're a plus standing in a bunch of minuses, they're going to deal damage to you. And the same is with minus standing in pluses. A quick way to wipe on this place is just to screw this up and you just explode. Everybody dies if you can just keep stuck like this. What you need to do is you need to go pluses one side and minuses another side. And typically pluses go right and minuses go left. You will see right now the raid is moving this direction. You have just a few seconds to do this. You need to run directly to this side and now it starts popping.
Yeah.
So you can see we're getting these effects around us and receiving some damage still. So healers need to be on point on this phase. There is quite some healing. And important, of course, that you don't pull the thread. And there is another polarity shift happening. You need to look at your polarity. Is it plus or is it minus? It's still plus for me. I'm staying put. But you can see all the minuses running through the boss.
You have another chance to grief your friends. Don't do it. Please.
Yeah, I mean, you need quite a few people to grief your friends. What you can do is you can grief yourself. If you don't make it in time, or if you just, I don't know, sleep and forget polarity, oh, which one do I have? You just die. You need to be very quick. You see another polarity shift. What have we got? I got minus. I
-1.
immediately run forward as soon as I can, because even like even what already now I'm getting damage.
Yeah.
So I would have gotten damage if I stood near the minuses.
Okay, anything
So-
good this time?
Well, before that,
Heads?
the fight isn't actually over
Oh,
when you kill
okay,
the boss
not over.
for once. You see, we still have these debuffs, and when the debuff expires, it also deals damage to everybody that's around you. So if you keep stuck and you just walk to the next boss, you're actually going to die. What you need to do is, you will see what we're doing here. Everybody needs to spread out. First, we are just standing and making sure that everybody knows where to go. So then we all spread out on this little platform. So this is for the minuses, and the
Is
pluses,
this
they don't
called
have enough
out?
space.
Sorry, is this called out, or you just have to pick an empty spot?
No, you just pick an empty spot. You just spread out the best you can.
Okay.
But you should have enough space. If you're a minus, you spread out on this platform, and if you're a plus, you're going through the portal over there. You can see it shining through the portal to the other room. And there you have way more space to spread out. This is the entrance to the Naxx, and you spread out and you wait for the debuff. So on this one, we got some nice trinket. It's not too nice. It increases your crit by 2%, but it reduces the threat you generate. So maybe for some mage or warlock who likes to generate
not
threat.
Sure. I would not use it, honestly.
Well, maybe on hardcore.
No,
when
no.
threat is
I
important.
think the entire point that it's hard and it's dangerous. If you use this trinket, you just remove some part of the fun.
Well, if
That's my
Ward
point.
Raid the boss is fun to you, maybe
No.
maybe you like dying.
If this drops and I'm the only one who needs it, I'm calling it to disenchant. It's 100%.
Okay.
I'm not using it.
All right. Well, so after killing Thaddius, we only have Plague and Spider Wing left. We will tackle Plague Wing first with the bosses, and then go on to the Spider Wing. Typically, before doing the Spider Wing, we will rebuff, because you see our buffs are running out soon. So I think we are doing like one or maybe two bosses in Plague Wing, and then we are going.
Is there
to
any
rebuff.
dangerous trash, or we just straight to...
Well, we killed it before, so now we are going straight to the next boss.
Yeah.
So let's skip and see how to kill him. So the next boss is Noth, the Plaguebringer. He's quite easy, but he has a very important mechanic. Actually, a few of them. So first one is he puts a curse on the raid, and this curse, when it expires, it deals a lot of damage. Right now, everybody needs to dispel. All the mages and druids, their first priority is to dispel the curse. It doesn't matter what other buttons they're clicking, they must dispel it. If they don't dispel, this curse explodes the raid.
How many druids and mages you feel like comfortable having for this fight?
Yeah, I think at least 5. Anything less than 5 is too little.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you can do it with 4, but it can be tight. You want to bring at least 5. We have 6, as you can see.
Yeah.
And even our tank druid, he is dispelling decursing, because the more people to decurse you have, the better it is. Now, another thing he does is teleport. So he can decide to randomly teleport during the fight, and then he resets the threat. So you need to make sure to not be on his threat table, or he's going to kill you. Now, as you can see, he's summoning some mobs too. You need to get this picked up by tanks. It's not a big deal. And if you do all of that, then you kill this boss.
Oh, that's a lot of frost resistance. Nice.
Yeah, some frost resistance gear. I'm checking. I already have a better one. 25 frost resistance already for later in the raid. So it's not very useful, but I guess somebody can use it.
Yeah, 20 is a lot. And you don't have to pay for the craft. It's like right there.
Yeah, that can be nice. So we can see the next part here. We're going to quickly go through this, just like this suppression room in Blackwing Lair, or this room with bugs and Ankh-Raid. It's just a bunch of mobs that constantly respawn. You have to make your way through the room. Typically, you just keep to one side of the room. The mobs can deal quite a good amount of damage, so keep healing. And quickly make your way through the room without leaving totems behind or anything.
Yeah.
Make sure your team stays together to get this room done. You pull the mobs and you try to get to the boss area. You will see
What
we're
will
going
happen
forward.
if one guy will disconnect?
Yeah, so if we know that somebody is behind, we can see it on the map. Someone will call out and we will gather around that guy and we will basically wait for him to either disconnect completely or reconnect.
Okay.
So just to make sure that he's not left alone and dying then.
Yeah.
Because that's not desirable. We want our entire team to make it out alive.
Even if you're
You
not
can
playing hardcore, I think it's still important because, as you can see, we have 1 hour of ward buffs. So it's huge.
Yeah, so here we gather around this mushroom, and once we kill all the mobs and we have enough mana, we didn't spend much, so I think we are going directly into the boss room. So next boss is Heigan. He's a very fun boss. So first, the thing that he does is he makes you dance. That means that I will stop here. So you see there are basically this big room, and there are actually 4 areas in this room. There is the right side, there is the sort of 2 in the middle, and there is the left side. You will see now this boss is going to cast this fissure. So he starts with the rightmost side being clean, and then the next one is the one next to it. See now, and then the one to the left.
I have a small confession. I never figure out this boss where to stand. I always failing this.
So you need to have.
I don't understand even now.
Yeah, you need to have your tank leading the group where to go. So it's very important your tank tanks the boss and dances around the room just like that. You see he's jumping away to make sure that the melee group is in the safe spot. So basically on this boss, what you do is you dispel some curses. As a healer, you heal, but don't be too close to the boss because he actually drains some mana. And you also don't want to be hit by one of these fissures. So you stand on this platform and then you're safe.
Okay.
Another thing that happens is you see the people are being teleported to like a special room. You see on my map at the bottom, there are people
Yeah,
here.
we're missing some, yes.
Yeah, so these people are being teleported and technically you can go through that room, kill some mobs. The danger is when you come back into this room, you can get hit by one of these fissures. So what we found out actually is you can just log out. You don't have any danger when you just get teleported. Nothing is aggroed at you. So if you just log out, not only you save the buffs, but you eliminate any danger.
That's super cheesy.
The only problem is you have 20 seconds to log out, right, when you press log out button. But if the boss is close to transition into phase 2, that room will become full in this fissure, and it's going to deal damage to you. So the only way you can survive is by using a Petri, or to make it through the room and hopefully into the boss room before he starts his dance for phase 2. In phase 2, it's going to repeat the same dance as phase 1. He's going to start from right to middle to another middle on the left and to the left side, and then like this, left from right to left, from left to right, and so on, until he's done. So if you kill him fast enough, he's not going to go in phase 2. But if you don't make it, get in phase 2 and make sure everybody goes around and dances. Because if you don't, then you will get hit and probably die. But yeah, we are quite fast here to kill him. He's not going into phase 2. You can see teleport 30 seconds. It will take us way less than that in the execute phase to kill him. So if you kill him before the second phase, then you don't have that and you get your loot. We got some nice best in slot necklace for healers and another piece, the belt to exchange.
Okay. So to sum up, if you are clueless completely, just follow the same role as you playing and just concentrate on following your friend. Forget about the boss. Like if you're completely clueless even after this. But now I think I got this. Hope
nice. Now we are going to get more 1 hour buffs to make sure we have the most power to tackle the following bosses.
What do you mean? That's horrible. That's so... Again,
We
peak
get,
min-maxing.
We get flower and we get rend,
Okay.
which helps us kill bosses faster.
Okay. And for example, if this sweaty raid was playing on alliance side, so you do rent as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is...
Well,
Okay.
it depends on your guild. If they want to do, they can min-max. You will close your buffs using Chronobone, and then you will loot the rend
Okay.
and the flower.
I mean, if people are down for this, sure. But
Okay.
again, I think it remove fun. Like you have like
Well, you
this
can go
2-hour
without
window,
buffs.
you have to go.
The point in our guild, it's not to have like fun or do things that are challenging.
Yeah.
Actually, the point in our guild is to not have anybody die.
Yeah, of course, this is #1 priority.
And in order to achieve that, we need to kill bosses faster so they have less opportunity to kill us.
Yeah.
Especially the last two. We need these for the last two bosses. It makes them easier. The healers use less wisdom flasks, and because the bosses die faster. So it's very important,
Okay,
I think. So now after collecting all the buffs and picking up the frost resistance gear for the later in the raid, we are coming back to the Plaguebringer to finish off Loatheb, who is the last boss left here. So you need to prepare as a healer before fighting Loatheb, because he puts a special debuff on the healers that allows them to heal only once every 2 minutes. Some spells like Priest Shield and maybe the Healing Totem do not count, but any spell that directly heals the target does count. So be careful not to cast any spell unnecessarily during the fight. If you do, you will screw up the rotation. So you come here and typically you have agreed on a rotation with your team, so you know who goes after whom. I recommend you to use a macros where you will write to the person who is next, something like you are next, and you will also do a raid warning saying this person is next, so that everyone in the team can be aligned and they know who is coming to heal next. As a shaman, what you can do here, there are poisons, so you need to put a poison cleansing totem, but you can swap it with the healing totem because it doesn't use the cooldown. It doesn't put the healing spells on cooldown, so basically you can do some extra healing.
Okay. And if you're playing Alliance?
If you're playing Alliance, the Paladin or Priest, you just heal when you're told, and you of course use the strongest healing spell that you have with all the buffs that you can. So if you need to pop a trinket to improve your healing, then that's what you do.
Okay.
Otherwise, while you're waiting, what you can do is you can damage the boss. So yeah, that's basically what you'll be doing during this fight.
Anything special for the melee or ranged DPS?
Yeah, for the melee and ranged, you will have spores that you need to go into, and when you go into spores, you basically gonna get 100% crit and no threat generated. So it's very strong buff for mages. They do a lot of damage here. As you can see, I'm starting off. I'm not the first one to heal. And by the way, you're only healing the tank, nobody else. And you're using the strongest heal on the tank. You can see the tank is going down a little bit, and he's being healed. I think he still has his flask, the diamond flask. As a warrior, you pre-pop it before the boss. So you can see that there is a raid warning coming out. That's somebody healed, and they're calling out the next person.
Okay.
So, and they were poisoned, so I'm putting a poison totem, and I could switch it with a healing totem. In this case, I think I just want to focus on the damage to kill the boss quicker. I don't do that much damage, but any damage counts.
Yeah, still doing some.
So you can see the poisons are quickly being removed, and we have all the totems for the melees, and you're just pumping the boss until it's your turn. It's my turn now, so I'm going to use my trinket, and I'm going to wait for the right moment to nature swiftness, heal the tank. Right now. And now I get the debuff. Another thing on this boss is you're getting this debuff the boss casts that basically after 8 seconds it deals a chunk of shadow damage to you. So if you can't kill the boss quickly, you will want to pre-pot the shadow protection pots and pot them during the fight as well, and use all the healing like warlock stones and any healing you can have, like bandages as a melee and ranged, so that you can prolong this fight as much as possible if your damage is lacking. So you can see this debuff just went off now. We have 5 seconds, and in 5 seconds we will receive some shadow damage. We still have the pots, so it's not that visible, but some people receive more and less. If you do that, if you keep your health up, then this boss is not very hard. You don't need that much DPS to kill him, but of course any DPS you can do extra counts. I could probably put a fire totem here and blast him with the totem, but our team is very strong, so there was no really a need.
But even though he's still dying pretty slow compared to the other bosses.
Yeah, definitely.
Is he hard boss if you like not a strong team, just regular? Like only tank is geared and that's all. Is it possible?
Well, yeah, the tank needs to equip the health gear, so he has as much health as possible. So that's how you make this fight more reliable, so that the tank can take quite a lot of damage and the healers can heal the tank. So now after this, we are going to wait for a couple of minutes until this debuff goes away from the healers, because the healers can still only heal once every 2 minutes. They will get the debuff if they cast. So before we enter the spider wing, we are going to wait until every healer. So now that the debuff has expired, we can finally start with the spider wing. The first thrash you need to pull from the range, these little spiders. They can be dangerous if one person does something like a goblin sapper, and they can kill a melee very quickly and very easily, or a mage. So you need to make sure to just cast cleave as a warrior, and you can just blast them. They don't deal that much damage, but they're still dangerous, so be sure not to have too many of them on you, or they might clap you. Then in the next part, there are spiders that can pull people who are far away from them. So you will see we are running with the team, running into the spiders to make sure that only the hunter is behind. And our hunter has a lot of HP, so he can take some poison and some damage. And we need to make sure no healers are behind. You see people are being pulled. Otherwise, you just need to turn the spiders away. In this quarter, there will be a lot of mobs where you just turn them away from the raid, and that's the main concern, because they spit in front of them, the spiders, and the cleave.
Okay.
So you have one tank pick up a different spider, like the bigger ones, and basically nuke them. They apply some poisons that you can dispel. You see, I got pulled because I put a totem, putting me in combat, while other people weren't in combat. So be careful of that, because I could have gotten damaged or killed even in that case, but I was lucky.
Okay, is there anything special before the boss, or is it just repeats?
So it's a lot of these spiders that you need to approach very carefully, and there are some interesting pulls. So you basically need to pull very carefully. If you pull 2 packs, most likely either you pop cooldowns and pray that nothing bad happens, or you can petri out. There are further into the raid. There are a few spots where it's much easier to pull 2 packs. But yeah, now we are going into Anub'Rekhan, the first boss of the Spider Quarter, and the packs that I mentioned are a bit further ahead. This boss is quite easy if you have a DPS check. So if you can deal enough damage to this boss, you don't need to worry about phase 2. So you need to spread out, because he will make an attack towards like a random target that throws people in the air. So by spreading out, you reduce the amount of people that are going to be hit by it. And you basically need to focus the boss and cleave on the odds that are with him. the boss should be your sole focus, because if you manage to kill him before Locust Swarm, then you will not have phase 2. And if you enter phase 2, the tank will need to kite him, and he will be doing some mechanics. But yeah, you should be popping all the cooldowns here to make sure this boss dies before the Locust Swarm. You can see we're meeting the same DPS check very easily. But yeah, if you are getting Locust Swarm, you need to be ready in advance, and the tank needs to be ready to kite the boss, or the boss will clap the tank and everybody around very quickly. But yeah, if you do everything correctly, just nuke the boss, and if you have enough DPS, that's not a big problem. So after killing Anub'Rekhan, we have this room with spiders. This is one of the places where you can accidentally pull multiple packs and wipe. So you need to have a ranged DPS pull these little spiders that are going around the middle of the room first, because otherwise they can run into you and cause havoc. So you can see they're running, and our hunter is going to pull them right now. So to make sure they don't pull an extra pack. These ones are easy to kill, and we're going to proceed to the right side of the room to kill the bigger spiders. These are the same kind of spiders we had before, with an extra new one, but it's the same mechanics. Turn them away from the raid, and you will be golden. And nuke them down. Dispel some poisons also if you can.
Yeah, so far it looks much easier than the first two rings that we did.
Yeah, I think the spider ring is objectively one of the easier ones, not the easiest, but it's just depends on how many mistakes your team makes. I think this ring has the most deaths, ironically, because people come into the work water being ready to die. They think, oh, things are gonna kill me, but they come into spider ring and they think, this is easy, until they make a mistake, and then you have a wipe. Moving on, you have a few of these more spider packs, and then there is this room downstairs where there are patrols, and you need to be very careful what you pull. Like these spiders over there, they're coming up, they patrol downstairs. So now is a very good moment to pull them. You need to run in, because these are the ones that pull, and nuke them. But if they don't come up, you need to wait for them, because there are more patrols, and if you pull multiple packs, you know what will happen. So you have these little spiders here too, and when we kill them, we'll be going down. But we can skip basically this part. Just make sure to clear all the spiders, and let's skip to the place where there are acolytes in front of the
cocoons are active, or are just cosmetic?
No, they're just cosmetic.
Okay.
Now we've dealt with the spiders, and the next is acolytes. So there is the spider patrol that can cause multiple packs to pull. And if you pull multiple packs, you're going to have a very hard time. So you can see our range DPS waited to pull them. And we are pulling them and engaging them a bit deeper. So you need to have a few people interrupt the Shadow Bolt volleys, because they hit everyone and they deal a lot of damage. That's the most important part, the interrupts here. All the melees must interrupt. All the rogues must kick, all the warriors must kick the casts. Every mage should use counterspell. So we need to make sure none of this Shadow Bolt volley casts go through. You will see one going through, it's a lot of damage. Couple or three of these casts and people will start dying. So they also cast Arcane Explosion. You can kick them, but they're less dangerous than the Shadow volleys. So you can see we pull the small spiders. Once we pull 2 packs to make it a bit safer, you need to pull them in between the 2 packs where there is a safe area, and then you can keep pulling these acolytes one by one pack, just to make sure you don't have many of them at the same time. So you need to nuke them as fast as possible and interrupt. And this is the most dangerous part, I think, in the spider wing, because one wrong move, a few missed interrupts, and people will die, and you will lose the buffs and.
Or your character.
Or your character if you're playing hardcore, exactly, just like we are doing right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of veterans here, they know the importance of interrupts, and you can see not many spells are actually being cast by mobs. They're all being interrupted. because everybody has had already bad experiences. What you see behind is quite interesting. So these mobs, they finish the casts, but there is no shadow balls coming out. And that happens because nobody except the hunter that pulled them is in combat with them.
Okay.
And the hunter is quite far. So they only shoot people who are in combat with them. So if you pull them and you don't, like if you were to run in that pack as a warrior with a charge, that is a ticket to die, because they will all go in combat with you, finish their casts, and they will instantly kill you. So you need to be patient, you need to wait for the mobs to come in, and then you need to engage them. Now that we dealt with the acolytes, we have Faerlina. On this boss, the most important is to have priests mind control her servants. So you can see this, I'll pause here. So the tank will have to hold Faerlina, and it's just like in the War Quarter on Razuvious. You have to mind control the servants, but in this case, you don't need to tank with the servants, just like you tanked with the trainees. What you need to do instead is you need to use this ability that they have called Sacrifice. Every, I think, 40 seconds, when Faerlina starts trying to enrage, or whatever the spell she has, basically you need to keep her down. So you can see enrage 54 seconds on the right. So before that spell gets cast, you need to cast Sacrifice on one of the servants, and then she will count down for maybe 50 more seconds or so. Then you need to repeat that. So on this fight, you're pretty much time-bound by amount of servants that she has. If you cast everybody's spell Sacrifice and she goes in rage, she will kill everybody very quickly. So let's look how the fight goes. We see some of the servants are being tanked, and some of them are mind controlled by our priests. They're put away, and we are basically waiting until we have a good opportunity. So to cast this spell. So what you see also here is there is some fire rain being cast by her. You need to run out of that. It can be quite annoying to the healers. It can deal a good amount of damage. And especially in melee, she can endanger some tanks with this. So if you're a tank and if you're standing in fire, you're not doing your job because you can get clapped.
Yeah, obviously.
So you can see it's doing actually quite a good amount of damage. I received like 2,000 damage from one tick. So this is not a joke. We killed her very quickly. So to be honest, I think only one cultist had to explode. But yeah, if you have enough DPS, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Objectively, this is one of the easier bosses.
You got the decent loot. Finally.
Yeah, we got some one-hander.
Yeah.
That's a good weapon.
That's very good. Yes.
So if you do everything correctly, then Faerlina shouldn't pose any danger to you. Unlike the next boss, Maexxna, which is the common hardcore vibe boss, because you cannot petri out on Maexxna. So in front of Maexxna, there are a bunch of packs, no mobs that you haven't seen already, to be honest. So I think we can just skip to her.
Yeah, sure.
So you've cleared all the trash and you're coming into the room with Maexxna. So the most important part in this fight is keeping your main tank that's tanking her alive. Because she's going to cast web a few times throughout the fight. And if she casts web and webs your tank, and she webs everybody in the raid. And if she webs everybody and your tank dies during this period, well, you don't have a tank anymore. Maybe you can use another tank, but it's very likely you're going to wipe there if you can't kill her. What makes it even worse is that she goes at enrage at 30%, and you need to be sure to stop your DPS and time so that she doesn't go into enrage mode when she actually is going to cast the web spray. You can see there is the web spray coming in 34 seconds. There are some ads that basically can be cleaved down, don't pose any danger. But there are also cocoons. So she picks a random non-tank team member, cocoons them, and they are going to be on the sides of this room, and the ranged DPS should free them because they will be receiving damage, and yeah, unless freed, they will actually die. You can see our shaman was caught, and he's waiting to be freed. You need to dispel the tank. The poison deals a good amount of damage. And now you can see there is a countdown to web spray. So there are a few things you can do before web spray. So as a tank, you definitely pop your cooldowns As a healer, you pop all your maybe healing over time spells. You make sure to refresh them. Put a shield on tank to make sure that as much as possible healing is going to the tank. But there is another interesting thing that you can do. So if during the web spray, you as a healer cast Petri after the web has flown out, but before it hits you, you can actually avoid the mechanic. You can cast Petri in between when the spell is cast and it landed on you. If you manage, then you can remove Petri and you can keep healing. So we have a few healers that are going to do this. I'm not going to do this, and you can see I am frozen in space, and at this moment, the tank is in danger. You will basically be stuck for, I think, 8 seconds, and the boss will be hitting the tank, and if he kills the tank, you know what happens.
Yeah.
But you will probably see we have one of the healers who managed to Petri, and he's keeping the tank up, so the tank even not taking any damage. So one of our healers managed to stop this spell. If you do it before, Petri before, it's not going to work. You need to do it right in the moment. So you can see the boss is enraged now, so we are timing it well. There is 20 seconds to the next web spray, and now we are on the timer. We need to kill Maexxna in 20 seconds, or it's going to be very, very painful for our tank. What you can do is you can pop shield wall. If you don't manage to kill her in 20 seconds, you can do the same as you did, pop shield wall in the tank, and maybe he will survive. But yeah, ideally, you don't put your tank through this risk. You can see how much damage he's dealing to him. A few good hits, maybe some crushing blow, and that your tank is dead. But if you timed it well, then Maexxna is down, and you're ready to enter the last quarter of Naxxramas.
Another great loot.
Yeah,
the dagger.
Definitely, that's a good one. We didn't get Kiss of the Spider. That's the best trinket in game for tanks, but it gives a 2% hit.
I'm more excited for the dagger, to be honest.
Well, now I'm equipping my Frost Resistance loot. I'm getting ready for Sapphiron. And on Sapphiron, we will have specific positions we will be standing in throughout the fight. So actually, right now, we're going to practice our positions to make sure that everybody is spread out. It's done so that the Sapphiron, he will cast the icicles, and they will freeze people, dealing the damage to the people nearby. There will also be this blizzards going around, and it's a very dangerous boss. You can die very easily and very quickly on this fight.
Do you practice this every time, even like you all
Every
know?
time.
Even you're like know this ice close.
When we have a new person, maybe somebody's place changed because there is a new guy and we had to reshuffle. So you see, I'm practicing. I know who is in front of me, who is behind me. So I'm making sure I'm standing correctly. So this is the Sapphiron's face. That's how we're going to stand.
How much frost resistance you should?
So you want to have around 180 as a healer or 220 as a melee.
This is without any enhancements, like a totems or aura?
Enhancements.
Without, just your base 220?
No, you need with enhancements.
Oh, it's with, okay. And it's easier. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see I put the totem up, and just to make sure I have this amount. The more you have, the less toilets on the healers to heal up. As a healer, you are likely be casting, using the flasks of the wisdom, because your mana will run out. You will probably not have enough mana for the entire fight, because the fight is very long. If you run out and you still need to heal people, that's the only way to get it back to cast. After you use your pot and your rune, the only other thing you can use is the flask of wisdom. When you use it at 0% mana, it restores you 2000 mana.
Okay, and what is the minimum of frost res to be accepted to this fight?
I would say around 180 buff minimum. Ideally, like all the melees, they have 210 plus. And now we will also practice Kel'Thuzad, because we will go to Kel'Thuzad directly after Sapphiron, and we need to make sure everybody knows where to stand. Because on this fight, there will be mana bombs going around. It can be a bit chaotic with mind controls. So everybody has their own position, and people will need to maintain it throughout the fight on phase 2 to make sure they don't accidentally kill somebody else. So after we have remembered who we are standing next to and who is behind us, we are going to Sapphiron next. So see you there. So you've steeled your resolve and you're ready to face Sapphiron. You need to pop all your the frost protection potion before the fight, just to smooth out some damage that Sapphiron's gonna deal. You need to make sure as a shaman to place your totem so it reaches your teammates in front of you and behind you. Hopefully the raid leader has done positioning that accounts for this, for the buff. If you're playing on Alliance, then it's Paladin's aura that needs to reach all your team, just to make sure that you have this resistance caps so that you don't receive as much damage on this boss. The more resistance you have, the better, but there is a sweet spot. So around 180 for ranged, or 210 or 220 for melee is what you're aiming for. Also make sure to use your Juju for extra 15%, extra 15 frost resistance. You typically don't need the chromatic flask, but if you have Dark Moon Fair and you're not using it for damage, maybe as a healer, then you should definitely use it for resistance. So do not use Flask of Chromatic Resistance, it's not worth it. It's better to have the Flask of the Titans. And now we're moving out. So you need to be sure that you're not in range of Sapphiron's melee, because this dragon cleaves. So don't be next to the tank. Take your position. In the beginning of the fight, you don't need to take the position that you agreed on. It doesn't really matter, except for the blizzard. Don't just stack. But otherwise, what you practiced for is for the phase 2 when Sapphiron flies in the air. That is when the icicles will start going out, and I will explain the mechanics when it happens a bit. The stage 2 will happen in 17 seconds. You can see the timer on the right. So, and you have 15 minutes to kill this boss, or he will go berserk and kill everybody. So I think that we have enough time, but if you reach this point with your DPS, you should be fine too, to be honest. So now the boss is going into the air and we are all taking our positions. I've got Blizzard next to me. It's very dangerous, it deals a lot of damage. And you can see we're in position and the boss is casting the icicles. I have one behind me. So at the end of this phase, when he casts 6 icicles, or 5 icicles, when he casts 5 icicles, you need to hide behind icicles, or you need to petri. If you don't, if you fail to do that, the boss is going to kill you, basically.
On the spot, even with all the resistance?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you have, he deals an insane amount of damage. I think something around like 100k, or you will not survive with any kind of setup. So here you need to bring your team up. You can see how much damage everybody's taken. The healers are popping all the cooldowns, everything they can to keep the team alive, because the boss has an aura, and this aura deals constant damage. And that is why we have frost resistance, to make sure this aura is resisted as often as possible. So you need to keep your tank alive, obviously, and you need to heal the rest of the people. Maybe somebody takes extra damage from the blizzard, maybe somebody gets hit more by this aura, because the amount of hits varies. So you just need to keep your team alive. You can see Sapphiron is going back up in the air. We need to go in the position again. So we are waiting to see where all the icicles land. There is one relatively close to me, and it's time to run. There is another one. If you don't make it, just use Petri, otherwise you will die. You can see our team is quite low because of the icicles. People who get damaged by the icicle, they go quite low. So, and you can see my mana is already going out. I've used a mana pot. Another mana pot is coming up, and unfortunately one of our teammates died because he got hit by the rain, and it was deadly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
You can see I'm opening my bag. I'm ready to use the Flask of Distilled Wisdom because my mana is at 0. I use Mana Pot first. I heal up myself. I heal up the people who are low. I heal up the tank later, right now. And after this one, I'm gonna use the Flask because I am out of mana. I'm squeezing every single piece of mana I have. So the slower you kill this boss, the more flasks your healers will need, because you can see even with 10,000 mana, you don't have enough. So you can see the boss is dying, and luckily I didn't need that many flasks.
Yeah.
And this one got some nice healer loot, the trinket,
Yeah.
as well as the nice cloak, and a few shoulder enchants.
Not bad.
So if you manage this, and hopefully you don't have people dying, but yes, it's a very tough boss. It's a lot of damage going, and your healers need to be up to the task.
Who is harder, Kel'Thuzad or Sapphiron? What do you think?
So it depends on Kel'Thuzad RNGs, but I would say Kel'Thuzad is definitely harder. You will see what he can do on the upcoming fight. There are a lot of things on Kel'Thuzad that can one-shot you. So to remind on this fight, you also need to keep your frost resistance gear, because one of the core abilities of Kel'Thuzad is using the Frost Bolt Valley that does a lot of frost damage. You need to be able to not take too much damage, otherwise other things can kill you. In the first phase, you need to be in the center of the room. You need to move everybody at the same time, because the different corners of this room, there will be mobs spawning. But the first phase is quite easy. You just need to kill the mobs that are running at you. You can slow them with mages. Just be sure not to pull extra mobs. Now you're getting ready to kill Kel'Thuzad. Pop your Juju. Make sure your frost protection gear is on. And when everybody's ready, you will move in the middle of the room. I'm going to equip the pants so that I have 6 set bonus. So that I can give the buff to our tank.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can, use as much frost resist as possible. I have some totems behind. I'm going to put them ahead. So there is not much healing to do. The stage 2 will happen in 3 minutes. It takes quite a while. You will see there are mobs coming, and as a healer, a shaman, you will put some Earthbind totems to slow down the incoming waves. In each corner, you can see there are totems standing. And basically, not much is going to happen on this fight at this stage. Just make sure not to pull these mobs. Stay in the middle of the room in the circle and kill any mobs that are coming to you. Different mobs can have different dangers, but there are banshees that basically target on the player and they shouldn't reach him. But otherwise, all other mobs are quite easy. Your range DPS should be able to quickly kill them, and the melee DPS should be ready to deal with the golems that are coming in. So this part is not very hard, so we can probably skip to phase 2, because this will take some time.
And what if the Banshee reaches you? You're dead on the
I
spot?
think you will screech and deal some AoE damage or something.
Okay.
So it's not death, but you can deal quite a good amount of damage. So now we are at the end of this phase. Just to mention that at the end of phase 2, all the mobs that haven't been pulled in the corners of the room, they will despawn. Some mobs will remain, so the off tanks will need to pick them up, and the tank will get ready to pick up Kel'Thuzad, who will become active in a few seconds. And this is the point where we're going to take positions, the ones that you practiced before, spread out so that you make sure that if he casts Mana Bomb, you don't affect your friends around you and explode them, because that deals a lot of damage. So the boss is active in 5 seconds, and I'm gonna take my position. I see the mobs disappeared, and there is a Banshee coming, so that one has to be killed. And there we are. Everybody's spreading out, and this is where I'm going to stand pretty much the entire fight. People are still finding positions, and one thing you can see, what happened right now was a fissure. The red circle on the floor, if it hits you, you're going to die. Mm-hmm. Should you be a tank or melee or a healer, it does a huge amount of damage. You can see right now on the right of the part of the screen under these totems, there was a circle, and the person affected by the circle ran out. You have a few seconds to run out of the circle, or it's going to kill you. And this is by far the most frequent killer on Kel'Thuzad, that circle. So if this circle spawns out under the main tank, what will happen is the entire room will move. So all the off tanks will have to move just to make sure that the boss is like this. Because the boss does another thing. He casts a tomb, and when this tomb hits a certain target, they will take more damage than their HP. They will take the damage equal to 120% of their HP. So basically, if they're not healed, they're going to die. And we have our healers ready to use Nature Swiftness and all the instant spells on the group that gets hit. So this is another very dangerous thing to look out for. Another Fisher, you can see our Hunter has moved out, moved back in, and we are waiting for this. There's a Frost Blast, luckily it hit ranged. You can see this Ice Tomb over there. So that person needs to be healed, otherwise they would die. This Fisher is going around all the time, so you need to be ready at any point. Now, when Kel'Thuzad reaches 40% HP, we enter phase 2.5, or phase 3, if you call it. He'll mind control. If you can mind control the tanks, somebody else needs to pick out the boss. You can see it's getting chaotic. There are bugs running around. The off tanks need to pick out the bugs, or you need to shackle. Some of the bugs will be shackled. Some of the bugs will be picked up by off tanks. There is a warrior right in front of me, our tank, hitting. Luckily, not me. So you can see people are getting really, really low. This is getting very dangerous and chaotic. The bugs are running around, and you need to keep doing damage while keeping the bugs in check and being ready for mind controls again. And you need to deal with these frost blasts. This is exactly why you need the frost resistance. The healing is quite heavy, but if you manage this part, you kill Kel'Thuzad. And you get some sweet loot.
Yeah. And it's 4 pieces as well.
We got a one-hander sword.
Yeah, you
and
got
unfortunately we lost one of our members.
Yeah,
I think
so
he died
you lost only 2 members, but it's still... Can you call it a success?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it a success. A successful raid is when nobody dies. This is the goal in hardcore. I would say it's not the best raid, but it's definitely better than everybody dying.
Yeah.
So we will help out our friends get back into the game, get their character back to 60, and they will come here and vacuum clean some loot.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's not going to be you. If you're playing hardcore and you're watching this guide, hopefully you dodge the Fishers and you defeat Kel'Thuzad.
Yeah, tell us how did you do? What points are struggling for you? What went smooth?
Well, the good point that I never got on Kel'Thuzad attacked by a bug or another mind control player. So our tanks were doing a very good job. And as you can see, our DPS were also doing a very good job because the boss died relatively quickly. We didn't spend too much time in phase 3. And our tanks did an amazing job picking up Kel'Thuzad after our main tank was mind controlled. And so I think everybody did well, but unfortunately this fight is very RNG based. You can't just for a moment relax. If you do, you can end up like our friend that died.
Yeah, so subscribe and you will end up on the throne as well, victorious, and see you next time. Bye bye.